What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the 4-4 YouTube channel. Welcome back to another matchups video where I, Hutchinson Brown, go through a ton of matchups heading into this fantasy football weekend that I like, dislike, and think have a lot of upside, a lot of downside, whatever it is, just preparing you for week 8 of the fantasy football season. Before I get in this video, though, I'd appreciate it if you were to subscribe to this YouTube channel. Click that little notification bell so you'll be notified every single time a new video drops. Go to 44.com/plans. There's tons of premium, bonus, awesome content you can find on that website. I've been able to see it all myself. It's pretty legit. And use the code YouTube when signing up for a plan. That's the code YouTube. You can get 25% off your order. Without further ado, let's get right into this. I am going to be starting whoever the starting running back is for the Bears against the Chargers. The Bears get the Chargers this week on Sunday Night Football. And I talked about buying Roschon Johnson earlier this week with the transactions video. I talked about adding him / buying him. If he is active, I think he's worth a play. Obviously, I think it might be more of a flex because obviously D'Onta Foreman will probably get involved a little bit. But if Roschon's healthy, he's going to be the lead back. And I feel like without Khalil Herbert there, he's going to be the strong lead. The Bears are going to want to see what they have in Roschon, especially in this juicy of a matchup against the Chargers, who have allowed a ton of fantasy points to the running back position so far this season. And then if it's Roschon's out and D'Onta Foreman is the starter, we saw what D'Onta Foreman did last week. He's the must play against the Chargers. My game of the week, I think this could be the highest scoring game of the week. And I'm taking a little bit of a dart throw here at the Texans and the Panthers. When you see those two teams, you might not think high scoring, but let me just lay it out for you. The Texans offense so far has been rolling this year. Stroud has 1 interception. He had the most pass attempts to start a career with no interception of all time. And he's been fantastic for fantasy football so far this season. Nico Collins has been crushing it. Tank Dell's been good. He's been on the field healthy. Dalton Schultz has flashed here and there. This offense has been rolling, and this defense has been mediocre. This defense has been fine. And looking at the Panthers, their defense has been okay this year, not great. It hasn't been that good. It's been very mediocre at best yet again. Their offense, though, has flashed over the last couple of weeks. The 2 last games they played, they put up at least 24 points each game. And Bryce Young's looked pretty good. Bryce Young, for the last couple of weeks, has shown improvement, looked better in the pocket, looked better delivering passes. He's overall just looked like a better quarterback in the last couple of weeks. Now, they're fresh off a bye week. We know bye weeks can change a lot of things. These two offenses are setting up to be really good this week. They're both playing against mediocre defenses. Why can't this be a high-scoring game? So the fact that it is a high-scoring game, Dameon Pierce, I think, is a okay start. He hasn't been okay start most of this year. But given the fact that I think this could be high-scoring, the ball's going to be moving around a lot, I think Pierce could be enough to be a flex play this week. Stroud, you can lock in as a QB1 in your lineup. Bryce Young, I wouldn't say QB1, but you can play him as a QB2 in a super flex league if you need that. Nico Collins, you could play him. He is 100% playable. I mean, that's what he is every week. He's been dominating this year. And then Tank Dell seems like he's going to be coming back, so I'd be playing him if he's back as a flex option. Adam Thielen as a yes. And then we don't know if Sanders is coming back or not. That is a big question, at least at the time I'm recording this video. If Chuba Hubbard is alone in this backfield, I'd play him. If it's a split backfield, then I'd be willing to play Sanders and I'd be willing to play Chuba, but it would be as a desperate flex as well. Next one, we are getting all aboard the Gus bus. Gus Edwards is going to crush it this week. He's proven to be an okay flex option since J.K. Dobbins has gone down. He has 2 games of 12-plus PPR points over the last 6 weeks. Now, that's not fantastic. That's not something to go crazy over. But the Ravens get the Cardinals this week. The Ravens offense has started to really click over the last couple of weeks, and they're playing the Cardinals, who we know on defense are terrible. They're just horrific. You can run all over them. You could pass all over them. You can do whatever you want to that defense. You can manhandle that defense every single week if you want to. The Gus Bus is going to have a great game. He's going to be able to be very effective with the ball in his hands. The Ravens are likely going to have a lead. Joshua Dobbs has been exposed over the last few weeks. He hasn't been as good. I think the Ravens are going to lead this game a lot. They're going to be running the football. And that just sets up Gus Edwards to have a fantastic day, especially if he gets in the end zone. We're going to go to a less positive part of this show. I'm a little concerned about Michael Pittman this week. I know people are talking like, oh, it's time for Michael Pittman after he's complaining about targets. Time for him to step up, have a big week. I'm a little concerned because first off, he's getting the Marshon Lattimore treatment. which is not fun for any wide receiver. I feel like the last week was a fluke. I'm just going to say it. Last week was a fluke. Gardner Minshew, when he was on the field for the Eagles, he was just not good. He was just not good. It was so horrifically bad to watch him play. And the times he filled in for Anthony Richardson, he was not good. He was mostly not good. I have no confidence in Gardner Minshew heading this week. I have no confidence in Michael Pittman. I think you can start him. I totally see the argument to start him. But if you are starting him, I'd be a bit afraid of Michael Pittman this week. Looking to Cam Akers. I want to talk about him real quick. I think it's a desperate flex that you could actually take advantage of this week in Cam Akers. I know that sounds crazy, but if you're absolutely desperate, the Packers have allowed the third most running back points this year, and Akers saw 13 opportunities last week. That was against the Niners in a super, super competitive game. That kind of volume makes him a flex contender. Like if you get 13 touches at the running back position, you're going to be a flex contender, especially if a couple of them are in the receiving game. You're going to be a flex contender no matter what. So if you're absolutely desperate, I think you might be able to flex Cam Akers against the Packers. I mean, we saw him last time he played the Packers with the Rams. He had a fantastic performance. And the Packers are yet again terrible against the run. Cam Akers might be able to do something this week. And now I got a couple comments in DM saying, hey, you never really talk about defenses on the matchup show. Why don't you talk about a couple defenses? So I've got 3 defenses here that I think are worthy of streaming. I'm going to play the Seahawks defense this week. Deshaun Watson plays terrible, and he's not going to be playing. So then we're looking at the backup options. We're looking at PJ Walker. It's not going to be good. He's proven to be mostly dysfunctional so far this season. He's led the Browns to wins, but their offense has not been able to produce many things that are good for fantasy football when he's on the field. It just hasn't been very good. So whoever's starting a QB, it's going to be a bad day for the Browns offense. And Seattle's defense, they're not the best, but they have enough talent to the point where they can get some turnovers, they can get some sacks. And I think they're going to be able to take advantage of PJ Walker. The next defense you want to be playing is the Lions defense. First off, they're a fantastic defense. They're playing extremely impressive this year. They have 6 interceptions. They're 3rd in rushing yards allowed. And they get the Jimmy G-less Raiders, which should be fun. That should be a fun game for them. And the last one is going to be the Falcons defense. They get Will Levis and the Tennessee Titans. It could be Will Levis and Malik Willis. It could be just Will Levis. It could be just Malik Willis. It's expected that Will Levis will be the primary quarterback, but we have no idea. There's been plenty of reports saying it's going to be both of them playing at some point in the game. And Will Levis obviously is a 2nd-round rookie. He was drafted way lower than expected for a reason. He's just not good. Simply put, I don't believe in him at all. So yeah, the Falcons defense is one you want to go for this week. But that's going to be it for this matchup video. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Please, again, subscribe to this channel, sign up at 44.com/plans and using the code YouTube, and follow me on Twitter. I'm at HutchinsonB_FF. We'll see you all next week. We're going to be doing another 5 transactions video earlier next week.